This is a note on the periodic table of elements. Now, how they exist, we all know many, in science and stuff like that and whatnot. Again, this is just a note type thing to go into further detail because I'm just thinking about it. But each one of them, each frequency they hold, or each element is a match to a vibration. For example, some of them off the top of my head: hydrogen, plutonium, sulfur, silver, nickel, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, and just to name a few of them, are all vibrations. They are all the components of what makes them them. What makes something water, or what makes something a gas, or what makes something a solid. They are all measured by, they are all accurate. In other words, another way to look at them is they are all the measurement of how the vibration forms. Now, we learn this in science and everything. And perhaps this is something that, may be overlooked or maybe underlooked, whatever. But it's the same principle. In science, you learn everything's atomic particles, everything's energy, right? And in science terms, everything's energy. But other, matter, solid. It vibrates into a solid. Everything is solid, including us, including living beings, is all particles. And each one of these particles, everything in this world, including ourselves, non-living and living, is actually all from the earth. Every single thing comes from the earth. Not to get sidetracked, that can go into another subject. But right now, everything, as we know, everything we've made, everything we've built, from tiny little microscopic microchips up into huge spaceships and and whatever. All of those things are a combination of a vibratory frequency of a substance which appears on the periodic table. And somehow, some way, all of these things exist as themselves, all of these things are various how things resonate. Look at the elements, and you'll see how they vibrate. Look at how water vibrates, how helium may vibrate if you put it into a form to a measurement type of thing, and how all these things vibrate and how they exist. What makes a gas a gas? What makes a solid a solid? What makes a liquid is first our belief in it all, essentially. But the belief also has the backing evidence, and if you will, humans like to use the term physical evidence, or scientific evidence. But whatever you want to call it, that evidence, though, is the principle of how it interacts with us, how we interact with it, how we vibrate with it. Everything is a frequency. Every single thing has a frequency. Everything does. There is nothing at all that does not have a frequency, because that is the very foundation of creation. When you create something, for example, one of the easiest examples, a car. When you create a car, now we can get into, there's different types of materials used for cars. There's metal, there's steel, there's some are plastic, even some are aluminum. So Even that right there, there's different materials for cars, and each one of those materials are made of different molecular structure, a different vibration of molecules, of atoms, of particles that create the building blocks. So essentially, the example is you're using those vibrations, you're using those things, which are essentially billions and billions of tiny little particles, infinite particles actually, but these little particles are what creates this car, and the imagination is what created the car. So in actuality, we are the creators. We are the ones who created the material to begin with. The materials were provided. I mean, now, we know what cars are and all that stuff now. But let's say no one, you pretend when cars were first made. I mean, they didn't look like they did now, but when they were first made, and stuff like that, someone had to have the idea to have that. It began and cartoons and stuff. You see and who knows? It may have been, but and like cartoons and stuff like that. You see like the funny cavemen cartoons and stuff that begin with the wheel, right? The stone. I think of the Flintstones or something like that, or whatever. The stone wheel with the stick through it or whatever, or the caveman with a large stone wheel, and he has a stick, and I've seen some, and he's like pushing the wheel around, or somehow they could figure out that, a round object moves things and whatever, and goes from there. So that start, that wasn't a car, but it was the start, because cars have wheels, so it was the start of movement, the start of a movement other than oneself, I guess. But again, if even the stone itself, whatever stone was used by cavemen, to get a little backtracked, was still a vibration. Stone came from the cavemen's idea. The cavemen figured it out, or maybe it didn't. Maybe it was stumbled upon by just accident. Maybe he found something round and found that it moved, whatever. And then somehow figured out that a round object would be easier to move things. A circular object, as a tire or stone, even whatever. But that idea came to be and evolved into what we have now, cars and stuff. And so that vibration is the creation. It is the creation, because we are the ones we are technically the creators of it, but it's our physical manifestation of it. We brought it to life, if you will. We imagined it, so therefore we brought it into existence. As with anything, there is actually nothing that cannot be done by humans, be that good or, quote, good or bad. But that's a whole other topic. But there's nothing we can't create. There's this idea that something is impossible is never the case, because humans are far more capable of anything. We are capable of anything. We might think we're not at times, but we are. Anything or everything on the table, the elements table, is all there. That elements table dates back to everything. Everything can be pinpointed. Yes, there are missing sections on the table, and we'll get back to that at a later time. But right now, because there could be another explanation that's not yet come in the downloads. But everything is vibration. Everything is vibration. You stare at something long enough, just stare at an object, and you will begin to see it move, kind of like Jello, maybe, kind of like it's like it's vibrating, like it's just like it's not solid, if you will. It's not like you have to do it to see it, type of thing, and you have to experience this for yourself. But you just stare at something, and it will begin to morph and pixelate, maybe, and do whatever. I mean, again, don't let ideas be planted into your head. If this recording becomes used for video, anyway, just recording some thoughts and whatnot. So yeah, all right, peace out.